trying this again. Give it a minute.
Let's see. It says upcoming for now for me. Okay, I can hear us.
You can hear us?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. We'll wait for a second because there's nobody here yet. Good morning. We'll wait for people to figure out that we came back. There was like 15 people at the beginning. That was nice. But maybe they couldn't hear us, so hello, can you hear me? I can't see who this is, but hello, good morning. It's morning by us anyways.
Yes. Still morning.
This is, but yep, they can hear. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Wonderful. Good morning, Trey. It is going. We are coffeeing and I was muted. Whoa, what a rookie move.
Okay. Well, we clearly do this all the time as professionals.
Yes, clearly.
As professional podcasters.
This is our regular day job.
That's right. Imagine how the rest of our life is going.
Oh my gosh.
Speaking to that.
Good afternoon. Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, we were somewhat derailed in our train of thought from all of the technical difficulties we were having, i.e. being muted.
Turns out the technical difficulty was us.
It's okay. I turned it off and then on again, and that worked. When all else, at least I know the one, troubleshoot 101. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we've been all over the place in our discussion this morning, but we were kind of thinking maybe since we have a little bit of space this morning that we should jump on and share our morning coffee chat with whoever might be around to
these tend to come up and bring really weird subjects up, so we figured we'd let you in on this. Jem.
Yes, we unloaded a bunch of our morning weird conversation on our Jaeger's kinesiologist who takes it like a champ. He just giggles and laughs a lot. No, he actually kind of I think he enjoys the conspiracy chat too.
Shout out to Ignacio. If somehow you're here, you're one of us.
Yes. Anyways.
Sorry.
You haven't watched any of the UAP videos yet. Okay. So I kind of there's been all this stuff going on in Jersey and New York, which is like kind of makes me, I'm glad that I have some experience down there, so I can kind of have a frame of reference for like where they're talking about when they're talking about these things. But man, am I ever glad that I don't have a reason to be in New York with all that crazy shit going on. Just because I feel like it's one of those places that's kind of like the belly of the beast. And I've always seen it as this sort of like modern day, Atlantis, where it's like that place is so full of corruption. I feel like it's going to be one of the first to fall.
Interesting.
It's like one of those places that just needs to be washed clean.
There's always been a lot of eyes kind of on New York. We think in movies, any apocalyptic kind of movie always depicts New York for some reason. Spider-Man, New York. It's always kind of the theatrical center of attention of Earth, too.
Yeah, New York, DC, or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot more. It seems like there's UFO, UAP stuff going on more in England, in the UK and stuff. And it seems like there's more of an attempt to flood, the news space with drone talk to, confuse people about the actual UAPs. I mean, there's people out there, when you see something that resonates as like not being a human thing, I think it hits different than these advanced tech things that the black ops militaries might be playing around with.
How did your UFO experience feel to you, specifically, like the internal process going on when you saw it?
I felt it felt shocking. Like it felt like this sort of like gut shock feeling of like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like that just does not make any sense.
Like it completely feels out of place, or it's part of a different reality, or you're almost questioning your own.
Almost questioning, well, yeah, it was a paradigm shift. So it was
Yeah.
kind of questioning my own reality when I was even seeing it, because it appeared from nowhere and moved unlike anything I know to be even possible.
One thing that I remember that struck me was you said the crispness of the light it seemed out of place.
The what?
The crispness of the light, like how the light was so steady.
The crispness. Oh, yes.
Sharpness.
Yeah, how sharp it was. Yeah, and steady, like unblinking, like it looked like like as small as a pinpoint in this daylight sky, as like a star point in the night, but it was completely unflickering, like the most pure light I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was bizarre. Like
That's
it didn't, yeah, like there was, yeah. And so bright, again, like it was against the night, or against the fully daylit sky. And it was like a laser.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of picturing it in my head.
Why are we staring at origami? Because the origami is nice. It looks better than our table right now. It's covered in the origami craft situation. So I thought, why not look at some pretty paper instead of the rest of the mess?
It looks like Santa Claus and the reindeer broke in here and took a dump everywhere.
Then just search my UFO. Okay, let's recap on my UFO.
Yeah.
My UFO goes back to, I know I wrote it down on a calendar, and I'm pretty sure it was the year that I left the coast. It was 2017. Pretty sure it was 2017. And it was morning around 11 o'clock, so it was totally bright sky. It was, I think, like early April, like within the first couple of weeks of April. And it was, so I went down to the beach, was watching some surfers. There was like 3 people in the water, and I looked up into the sky. There was like some clouds, but I was looking at a totally clear part of the sky. And 3 points of light appeared, like pinpoint lights. They looked like, like I said, like star size pinpoint lights on a night sky, but they were bright light on a day sky. And it appeared right in my field, like my immediate point of vision, where I was looking in the sky from nothing. And then it moved a couple inches across the sky and then shot out into space.
Yeah, Trey was asking if it moved in zigzags in a way, because he says he's seen one of these, or what he thinks maybe one of these as well.
Yeah, starting under 5 physics, yeah. Yeah, and I haven't seen a zigzag, like it just moved in a straight linear line from my perspective, and then it shot out at a I would say roughly. Okay, help me out here with
Yeah.
angles. So if it
Roger.
was moving at that, like
Horizontally.
and then shot off at about that angle.
Yeah, that's about a 135-degree angle.
Okay.
Or, however, yeah, 75, 45 degrees up.
Yeah, 40, like
Not quite 45.
No, like 35 almost degrees to the right. Anyways.
So if you're looking at it vertically, it would have been north by northeast that it shot off at. So forgive my geometry.
Mm-hmm.
If it's coming from visually the west, stops in center and shoots off north by northeast.
Yes.
Statism for you.
Almost every night you see a strange light in the sky. Yeah. I mean, like, it seems to... where do you live? Are you, Thomas, are you in the UK? Good evening, he says. He must be on the other side.
Well, good evening, good sir.
So, yeah, it seems like... I think that they're... Anyways.
Yeah. They're here.
They're here. Disclosure seems to be happening. Has anybody been seeing what's been coming up in the U.S.? Am I getting this right? Is it the Senate or Congress? The
Senate is a part of Congress, so I think it's the Senate specifically.
Right. They're speaking about this in Congress. Anyways, they are having people from all factions of, military intelligence, from the Navy, et cetera, et cetera. And I think people have been aware of this, since COVID. It started really coming out with those guys from the Navy, whistleblowing all of this UAP stuff. And it's like, now then, like, it's reaching that point, folks. It's reaching that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these are, so let's bring it closer to home. What happened in January, babe?
Oh, shit. You ready to talk about this?
Well, we've talked about it already.
Yeah, that's right.
But I think that it's important to talk about it again, because I think that people need to start asking questions about who and what we are, really. Because if we don't start asking those questions, really, we're going to be told. And if you're not skeptical and you don't, feel and discern things, very, carefully, you can be led for a fucking journey here. And you don't want to be trapped down a rabbit hole of dominance and control and totalitarianism.
It's like they say, a little bit of knowledge is the most dangerous thing. Yeah.
And the only one who can know what the truth is you, right? Like, you have to be able to know what the truth is for yourself.
Yeah.
Somebody is trying to tell you, because you trusting your gut, you will not lead yourself astray. Like, if you can trust yourself and you know how to listen to I'm rolling a joint, sorry for the wrapper crinkling. If you can trust yourself before, then you're not going to be, caught on these fear bandwagons they're trying to take everybody on.
Yes. In a way, it becomes kind of a reversal. It's kind of interesting where the subjective becomes the objective truth of what was really experienced, because no one can ever take that away from you, right? As within, so without. So you lead the way on this one, babe, and I'm willing to go as far as you want to go.
Okay, so God, there's so many. Now that I'm on the spot and we're live, it's like hard to okay. Telepathy. Yeah. Telepathy is real. So, okay, here's a way to framework this. What do ancient human civilizations Black Ops, reverse engineered tech and weaponry, deep state collusion, human trafficking, and aliens all have in common.
Sounds like a punchline to a terrible joke coming. So what is it?
Oh my God. Everything. They're all connected. So, God, where do I start? I feel.
Who are the aliens?
Who are the aliens? We are the aliens.
That's right.
A lot of us are aliens.
What's in our DNA?
Why do they want to fuck with our DNA so bad? COVID vaccines,
Yeah, that was bullshit.
all kinds of toxins in our environment that,
Yeah.
and foods
The
that,
Wi-Fi, 5G, all that stuff.
yeah,
Because there's something hidden in our DNA. Something that if we discover it, we will understand our true origins and our true power. We got a taste of that in January. Let's be real.
yes. What is humanity really? What's really going on there? Why is there so much, secrecy and cover-ups around, discoveries about human origins in our ancient past? Why are they keeping UFO things secret? What was Hitler doing? Poking around looking for ancient, spiritual technologies, and then the American Navy claiming that they found German UFO warships down in Antarctica, and now Antarctica is super fucking secret. Like, they are clearly, what's with all of this, like, high level celebrity and politician, blackmailing with, child sex crimes. Okay, Annika Lucas on Patrick Bet David, perfect thing right there. MK Ultra, literally MK Ultra, to be a spy for high level or rich people, just one of many. There's like all kinds of children that get trained to be, unfortunate, it's hard to even say it, sex slaves to these fucking creepazoid rich secret billionaire people. What is this? An Arctic for ants? Anyways, yeah. So, oh my God. There's been so many things that I've wanted to talk about here with the people and put out there. And we've been having these conversations so much, like nonstop for the last couple weeks, that it's like, how do you even begin to, anyways?
Yeah.
Do you have anything to string in there at the moment?
String in at the moment. I was just thinking of kind of focusing our conversation on where do we want to go with this one. We could talk about our UFO experiences, and we could lean into the little car crash stuff that's happened. And people probably want to know about how that's been going. Or we could just focus on the UAP stuff first.
So what are they, and why do they want to keep it from people? And I think it has something to do with what psychedelics can offer us as tools to potentially communicate with what's going on beyond our normal range of 3D reality perception.
Yes.
Because it would seem that there's a lot of potentially interdimensional beings that are hanging out very close to us in relative space, but because they're in a vibrating on another frequency, we cannot perceive them.
Yeah. Unless you really attune to it.
How do you attune to it, babe?
I don't know.
Seems like there are multiple methods.
Yes, we've discovered a couple.
Yes, I think that there are long routes and fast tracks,
Yes.
potentially, depending on how prepared your body and psyche is for the experience.
Yeah.
I mean,
you want to loop it back around there to...
do we talk about January again?
It seems like we're kind of hovering over the subject, but it all comes back together because the subject of the day we want to talk about is that disclosure is happening.
And what is disclosure? How do we contribute to disclosure? Well, disclosure would be our experience.
Yes.
Our disclosure is our experience.
Should we disclose our disclosure?
Yes, officially as a disclosure, as a part of disclosure. Okay, for what it's worth, here's the thing. Y'all can take whatever we say with however much salt you want to taste, okay? It's our personal experience. This is a weird one, so it's like there's no reason I can see that somebody would have to like make this up for clout, because we don't even entirely know what the fuck happened to us. And yes, telepathy. So
it kind of begins.
It begins with telepathy.
So that's the beginning. The crazy part, most people will think, oh, you had a clear telepathic communication. No, that was just the start of the crazy part, just to give it kind of a grand perspective, right? So do you just want to tell the story of what happened?
So we had a bit of a psychedelic experience, and by all accounts of my experiences to date, definitely not the strongest by far. For full disclosure,
yes,
because this is, who gives a shit? I don't care. Like, we're all about it here, I think. We took each 1.5 tabs of acid, probably 125 to 150 micrograms each tab. So around 200 to 225 maybe each, or whatever micrograms. And I've taken up to 400 micrograms of acid in a trip, plus 1/8 of mushrooms and tea. So this was not my strongest trip. And I know that sometimes, sometimes one just gets you, right? Sometimes the mood you're in, you're already open and lifted and, at a higher frequency naturally before going in. So it's like sometimes it's amplified and you have like a stronger experience on less. I've had that happen too. This was not that kind of a trip.
No.
It was a very like manageably paced trip.
Yeah, it seemed
the
fairly
whole
grounded.
time. For an acid trip, pretty grounded trip.
It was my first acid trip too.
It was Jaeger's first acid trip.
Yay.
Well experienced with mushrooms, but not acid. And we took it at 1:30 in the afternoon. And when we had this like paradigm shifting experience, that was at like 11:15 at night, 11 o'clock at night.
11 possibly.
Yeah, maybe 11, right?
On January. Yeah. No.
And so we okay, backtrack on track.
Yeah.
Okay, so we stepped outside to smoke a joint. We were pretty much
Yeah.
ready to go to bed at that point. And we stepped out to smoke a joint. I'm the kind of person, I'm the kind of stoner that can smoke a joint and it on acid, and it actually grounds me. It doesn't make me feel like, I know that a lot of people find that they smoke weed on acid and it's like a totally different thing, right? Like, well, that night it seemed to be a totally different thing. And I really don't know. I feel like unsure of like blaming a substance that was involved in this, because it felt like it came through from its own, on its own, whatever happened to us. And it was like we came back inside, we were listening to some music, the song changed and the lyrics started. I think we were kind of both laughing at the lyrics, because it was almost like the lyrics in the next song were reflecting on the song we were listening before.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like it was too long. We were listening to the song before.
Yes, I actually forgot that bit.
Yeah,
yeah.
it was
I
Daft
remember
Punk,
now.
and we were
Yeah.
listening to one of, I can't remember what the name of the song is, but it's one of their really like edgy techno songs that kind of
Make Love, I think.
puts you in almost like an uncomfortable state
no.
of unrest, you know, because it's like
Yeah.
really repetitive and it's almost grating.
Yeah.
And then it like switched to the next song,
Yeah.
and it was too long. and then we somehow it was like, to me, I always think of it this way, as like two guitar strings like coming into like, you know, the right frequency, like when you're tuning, and they're
Yeah.
like two different strings, but they're in
Boom.
harmony with each other, you know, and resonance is perfect with each other. And it was like two minds all of a sudden, like our brain wave frequencies were just
Like completely matched and harmonizing.
exactly the same.
Yes. That's what it felt like.
It felt like, not like telepathy where I've experienced it before, where it was like two minds interacting with each other in this sort of this mental space that you kind of visually conceptualize, but can't exactly, like, you can't see, but you know that you are connecting and conversing with somebody back and forth internally. And then this was like the same mind.
Yes.
You know, we had like the same exact mind at the same time.
It was hard to tell in that moment where my thoughts were mine and hers, like yours were yours.
Yeah.
Basically. So I couldn't differentiate between me and you really
No,
at that point.
I couldn't.
Not at all.
It was a little alarming at first.
It was. But it's like you and I were literally one.
Mm-hmm. It sounds so corny, but
It's on a mind level, like the thoughts, I could not tell. It was all one thought,
yeah.
right?
And then, so from there, because we were having this telepathy at such a exactly like aligned level, we found that we were like, if we stood in front of each other, and it was like, I raised my arm, he raised his arm. Did I make him raise his arm, or did he raise his arm because he saw me raise mine? We couldn't tell who was controlling whose body.
Did you raise my arm?
Yeah. It felt like
did.
yeah, it was like, it didn't matter if his mind controlled his body, my mind controlled my body, because it was the same mind.
Yeah.
So we found that we could exactly mirror each other's movements faster than anything makes sense in logical physics.
It looked like a Bruce Lee movie.
It looked like beyond.
weird.
It was faster than a Bruce Lee
Faster
movie.
than that, yeah. It was like Bruce Lee movie, not slowed down, sped up.
So it was like, if you imagine magnets. Explain the magnet thing.
Yeah, so you have two magnets with their same pointing at each other, north to north, and you try to bring them together, and you can bring them infinitesimally close to one another without touching them, but that requires a lot of like pressure. But
it's like we experienced that the magnetic fields between us, we could stay sustained in each other's magnetic field without touching each other, but coming within, I swear to God, like a millimeter of touching each other, but not touching each other. And then move like, how do you describe what happened? I don't even know.
I don't know, like rotating around each other somehow. Like
it was almost, it wasn't a dance. It was like
almost, I would say both of our bodies displaying a light language of some kind, but specific moves to activate energy channels. I don't know even how to describe this. The words, no.
I don't even know if there, what. Anyways, there was able, I don't even know how to describe it. Anyways, we moved faster than anything ever fucking makes sense. That does not make sense. It did not make sense. And then I've had this happen before on other trips. And I thought at first, the first time I did MDMA was when I was 28. And I don't think it happened the first time I did MDMA, but it happened on I'm 33 now, and it never was something that I like got into, but I've dabbled a little bit with it here and there because I've been lucky to have safe sources. And obviously, if you guys know, if you're here, you're from Adam's channel, so you probably know I've dabbled. But yeah, I thought it was, somebody told me once, it's like, oh, you've got the M shakes. And I'm like, okay, I'm having a physiological reaction to a substance. No big deal. This is something that happens to other people. But when it happened, it felt like I got these like crazy rushes of energy, and it wasn't just the drug. It was something, it was a rush of energy that I have felt many times in my life, long before ever having any kind of substance related experiences, like as a child, from sensing energy, from what I now define as sensing energy. Like I've had some really crazy experiences in my life, and it was like that, but it was happening on another level. And this, I call it like almost like a snake like language, because it sounds sort of like a sneaky kind of sound, but it's weird. Like when it comes out of me, it's like my teeth are chattering, but my teeth are, it's not just like a shivering, like when you're cold or when you're having temperature fluctuations on drugs. I've had that before. It like comes from like a deeper part in my like core soul feeling. And I've had it on different substance experiences like mushrooms and acid. So I thought that maybe this was just some kind of a general reaction I'm having to substances, but then it comes out at specific moments in these trips that I'm having, and it feels like a presence is with me, but it's not like another presence. It feels like it feels so familiar that it's not necessarily like a spirit guide, or it's like it feels like it's a bigger part of me.
Yes.
Specifically me. What is me? What am I? What are we?
What's in your DNA?
What is in our DNA? We know that there's so much we don't know about our fucking DNA, like on a very real level, and what's going on in our brains. And like telepathy is no joke. Like let's just treat it for what it is. It's real.
Mm-hmm.
It's real. We don't have to, I don't think, if people are here, hopefully they are well equipped and informed enough to know that there's been a ton of CIA investments done into researching telepathy, mind control, acid, the MK Ultra shit. This is all real. So if we can have our own organic experience of these things, what the fuck do they know? What the fuck do they know? And what are they using against us and hiding from us? What are people really? It felt like our experience was so alien.
Mm-hmm.
We started
Yeah.
speaking in another fucking language, like snake people, but it was like breathing air. It was so natural. It was beyond telepathy. It was a
Yeah.
deep core ancient knowing of something forgotten, like latent in us, that was like, I recognized you on another level. And it wasn't like a woo-woo past life thing. It was like, I saw who you are,
Yes. And I saw who you are.
like who you are now.
Yeah.
And that's more than what we see.
Yeah.
It's like there's something going on. They're not telling people what we truly are. Clear, there's people in these intelligence agencies that are like, the fucking people need to know. God damn it!
Yeah. No, in that moment, it sensed like a golden energy around you, but it felt the whole experience felt and looked almost alien, like, but a recognized alien, like a recognition of like, oh my god, this is actually what we are.
Yeah.
This is normal.
Yeah.
That's the thing. In that moment, a part of me, like, my ass got left behind there, thinking like, this is not normal. At the back of my mind, I was thinking, this is peculiar.
Yeah.
This is fun.
Yeah.
And oh my god, this is what we really are.
Yeah.
Holy crap, that was one hell of a whirlwind ride.
Yeah.
That was just exciting to reconnect with that.
And it was like, what was so interesting about that whole experience was like, as this crazy shit is going down, we're not even tripping anymore, but we're tripping harder than we tripped in the entire trip.
Yes, this was at the end of a pretty pedestrian acid trip.
A pedestrian acid trip. I love that. But really, seriously, and that, yeah, Jesus Christ, it's still
one of us.
like what is really going on? I think that some of these things that are coming up, a lot of these high level intelligence people, they almost have the impression, and I've heard people talk about it too. Remember, I don't know if you ever heard Paul Hellyer, the Honorable Paul Hellyer, former Minister of Defense of Canada.
No, I don't
talking
remember.
about how former Minister of Defense of Canada has spoken multiple times about how there is ET involvement in human public and government affairs.
Right.
And that they are treaties with humanity, etc. Basically, and it would seem that now this stuff is all coming out again. Like I said before, I think that the disclosure we should have had has been stolen from us.
Yes.
And we are now it's now a race from good people. There are good people out there in these agencies that want people to have the truth, that are for the people. Just as much as I think some of us truther people get a little hung up in feeling like everybody's against us. All of these agencies and everybody in them is evil and working for the corruption and, to hide stuff from humanity. I really think that there's some good, some gold nuggets out there that are actually working for, trying to get this stuff out there, but they have to be safe. Look at how many people have gotten fucking suicided or killed along the way of trying to get this shit out there. There's a global operation of nefarious fucking pedo freaks controlling this information from
Yeah,
humanity.
fuck you if you're one of those. Fuck you. Fucking pedos. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's true though. Like, fuck them. People are waking up to this shit, and they know.
People need to know. You need to string these motherfuckers up on the gallows. Sorry, am I going too far?
But here's the thing, right? As we said, we have our emotional, our human. These are our human emotions, and while they are justified human emotions, to something as heinous as, you know, the human trafficking and the child slavery and stuff, we have to know that there is a justice that exists that is beyond the third dimension, and there is a war going on as above, so below.
Yes.
And sometimes there is a way to there is a way to act in these scenarios which does not which does not keep the violence continuing.
It is a cycle.
There is a cycle that must be broken.
So that's a really wise thing that you mentioned yesterday about allowing karma to play out itself and not being the judge, jury, and executioner, or karma's personal delivery device. If you're the strongest, you will understand that you are the full universe within, and if you just let the universe do the work, it will know the wisest way to do the work.
Yeah.
Not seeking retribution. I don't know.
We have to understand that our struggles, no matter what they are.
Yeah.
Because everybody's struggles are relative to their whole story, right?
Yes.
That I lost my train of
Choo choo.
Choo choo out
Down the valley.
station.
The pedophile rings and the disclosure that's happening that's so connected with it, and the truth being kept from us. And finally, disclosure seems to be happening on the outside, but I just wanted to bump in there and say that true disclosure happens within, and sometimes it happens within first.
You have to believe that. Well, you don't have to believe. That's.
You don't have to believe anything.
It's wrong choice of words to start with.
Yeah. Hard to articulate.
It's hard to like shoot the shit when the camera is there, because you know that like you're analyzing what you're thinking a little bit more than just letting it flow.
Yeah.
And that comes from us not doing this as often as we should.
Yes.
But somehow it's already been 43 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we've talked about enough.
I don't know. There's so much to talk about. We did have a good conversation before this leading up too, so I understand if we're a little out of gas.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think maybe we can drop it here because it's sort of like a warm up, getting back into sharing our thoughts. I would love for people to leave their wildest thoughts and comments about these topics, because that could potentially give us somewhere to go and inspire us to get back on here sooner and like have more of a conversation with people out there, because I think that people want to have a conversation about these kinds of things. But it's like, what do you say? But so many people have experiences with seeing things, or, you know, if not seeing things in their waking life, experiencing things that go beyond, you know, the regular scope of those are just dreams, kind of dreams. And I think dreams are another avenue, like psychedelics, like a window into spaces and dimensions that go beyond the physical realm that we are normally in, but we coexist in multiple dimensions at once. We exist, you know, our minds are clearly not a physical thing.
No, definitely not.
our communication is not a physical, I mean, yes, it's vibrations. Thoughts are vibrations and electric impulses that occur when we have thoughts. But those are not the thoughts. Those are not, that is not the mind, that is the brain.
Yeah, it's a radio receiver receiving those thoughts.
Yes, they do know it perfectly, Tommy. That's right. And they'll call us crazy for saying it. And that's why, it's so easy to dismiss people who take psychedelics as off their rocker or whatever, because it's like, well, if you haven't done it, man, you just don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Just to see people go crazy and invent crazy stories that make absolutely no sense. But those who know.
I think I've said it multiple times here on my channel, and it's so true. It's no sign of health to be well adjusted to a society that is sick. And we are told so often that things like visions and dreams and outlandish ideas are simply that. They are these abstract, things that are not meant to be entertained by a rational, respectable person. And you must tone down, all like basically your expression of that divine spark of pure creative consciousness.
And if you lean into it, you're given antipsychotics.
Right? Because
dreams are too strong. Here, take this pill. It will make your dreams less strong. You'll be less scared.
Cough, cough, personal experience we were talking about. So yeah, they fucking know. That's right, they know.
So shit with disclosures. Disclosure continues. All this weird shit is going to start happening a lot more commonly, probably.
We've already we've been saying it's like weird shit's keep happening. Hey, how many aurora borealis have you seen this year?
Let's talk about that grounded example.
How many aurora freaking borealis have you seen this year? Some people want to say that's harp shit. Some people want to say this is that. Okay, listen. That's the big one. Why are the aliens here? Because humanity is a lot more important than we think it is, and the sun is about to do some crazy shit, and maybe we're not all supposed to blow up and die, and maybe we all should have been informed about this like 100 years ago when they started having the ability to build fucking, bunkers and cities underground and started making them big enough for the rest of us and not overpopulating the world so they have a slave colony to build all their infrastructure and harvest all their, food and grains and seeds before the darkest winter of the possible imaginable future ever comes. So
tell me how you really feel.
Aliens are real.
Yeah, basically. I can only imagine you with that crazy conspiracy theorist bored with all the red lines going over the place. Look, this, that. But it's so true. That's the thing. It's so fucking connected.
There's so much more going on in my little, there's I don't even know. I've lost count. The hamsters were never neutered. They were allowed to breed freely, and somebody gave them unlimited wheels, and they're all going at the same time.
The noise would drive me crazy. Imagine the smell.
They're well-oiled.
Well-oiled hamster.
Well-oiled hamster wheels.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, yeah. So we'll try to be here more often. We didn't even talk about the accident, which wasn't the craziest thing that happened this year, because that's the thing. We were in a crazy fucking rollover off the highway car accident. Both of us were broken to bits. Jaeger more bits than me. And that wasn't even the craziest thing that happened this year.
Yeah.
Check that. Okay. Well, okay. Things that we need to talk more about. Telepathy. Black book government. Quote government research and experiments into psychedelics, mind control, remote viewing, all that shit. The connection to reverse engineered UAP technology and secret or held secret technology, Nikola Tesla. Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, tie human origins into there.
Tie human origins into all of that. What the hell are human beings really? What are we really capable of? We are the aliens. Yeah, clearly there's something more going on because I don't know. I've got some weird stories about. I think I've talked about it before, but I feel like there's things that just need to be rehashed and re-brought up because new people come on. No, not everybody follows things closely, and videos are few and far between. So I'm sure that there's certain topics that we can go over multiple times and still add new things to them every time we talk about it because there's more things going on daily that tie all of these experiences, that we've had personally and that we are, watching go down through, various portals of information, and it seems to be connected. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I talked a lot.
It's your podcast.
It's whatever. It's a podcast. It's a yak.
Yeah.
Bashar.
Yeah, how's Bashar doing?
Is there a way to when you, because I'm technologically retarded, I've never been able to see the live chat after I post the video.
Oh,
is it possible to see the how people commented live? Because sometimes I want to see the conversation.
Yeah, I've definitely seen the replays of the chat before.
Oh, okay, cool. So that's just something that I haven't figured out or poked around enough.
Yeah, that would be something you'd have to figure out on your end there. I'm sure they're all saved.
Okay.
You can bring it up.
As long as other people can see when they're watching the video, the live chat, and understand what I'm responding to, because sometimes I just go quiet and then all of a sudden I'm responding to. Helps when you can see me and see that I'm reading something. Anyways, I hate that though sometimes. It's like I'm watching somebody and they're just their little face is stuck in the camera reading the screen.
Well, I've kind of been reading comments here as well, so we could do
that. That helps.
Prompt you based on that.
I like that.
A
that
lot
works.
Of interviewers do that. Yeah. Hope both of you are okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
we are okay.
We are okay. We are getting better, and we're here to live and tell the freaky tales that we have. Just another freaky tale to the freaky tale book.
There's more weird shit to talk about.
Oh, there's so much more weird shit to talk about.
Yeah.
But we have to go outside to smoke a joint, so we're
this is important.
Yes, it's important. All right.
Thanks for coming to our TED Talk.
Thanks for coming to the TED Talk. I hope everyone out there is okay. Keep looking at weird shit.
Yeah.
Stay vigilant.